Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another week of coding. I hope you're all well. I see we have lots of people in from last week again. Great to see everyone back for more. I'm just going to start the lesson in 2 minutes. I'll give people a chance to log on. Some people might be a little bit delayed. I hope everyone's had a really good week and you're ready for a little bit more class time. Did anyone play around on Scratch, I wonder, after the class last week? I think we have a lot of people here who were here last week. Let me just double check. Do we have any? I think we have one or two new people this week, which is great to see. My first question of the week, I'm launching straight into it, guys. Did anyone play around on Scratch during the week? Did anyone make any projects after we finished up our last lesson? Oh, I'll just make sure I turn on the lesson steps. Stargirl reminded me. Yeah, Stargirl, you'll be okay to mark lessons done. You'll be able to keep up with us and you'll be able to tick off all your steps. Don't worry. Jane Coco made an arcade project, not a Scratch project. Jane Coco, really cool. Well done. I wonder, was that something you were working on during the week? Was it your own project or was it Coding Ireland project? I wonder. And Bees has made a game on Scratch. Great to see you guys. Great to see you're practicing. You need to get that practice in. This class is brilliant, but it's always good to get your own practice in. And that's when you need. That's when you really improve. So you might have seen this week, guys. We thought we were going to do a lesson on microbits. Now I know of reading the chat, and I got a few messages in during the week. Not everyone has access to a microbit. And first, I'll go through what a microbit is in a little bit. Don't worry if you don't have one, because this lesson is going to be how to program it. We're going to have a little simulation on the screen, so you'll be able to see exactly what you're programming and what it looks like on the microbit. The only difference will be if you have access to a microbit, you can then download at the end of the project, you can download all your code into your microbit and it will perform the actions that we've coded it to do. Whereas if you do not have a microbit, it'll just be a simulation in your computer, but it'll still be cool. You'll still be able to do the game. You'll still be able to play what we're doing along. You just won't have the physical microbit in your hands. For anyone sitting there scratching their head saying, what is Kieran talking about? He's talking about microbits. He's lost his mind. I'll show you. A microbit is basically a little computer. It is this little, I'm trying to get it clear on my screen. So it's only small. It's only about the size of, it's smaller than a credit card. It's only about half a finger size across. And I wonder, has anyone here ever used a microbit before? Has anyone had experience? Has anyone practiced with a microbit before this lesson? Some people might have. Business, I know you programmed something just before this. You jumped straight into it. But essentially, a microbit has loads of different functions. It has loads of different things it can do. It has a little screen here made up of LED lights. It has buttons here and here, and there's actually one on the back as well. And it's got loads of stuff built into it. It's really, really cool. It's like a little computer. You can tell it to do loads of different things. It's got loads of tools. So it's got a USB, it's got an antenna, it's got a microphone, it has a speaker, it's got a processor, it's got a compass, it's got a radio inside of it. It does loads and loads of stuff. If you don't have one, it's, they're pretty cheap to get. They're about €20. So if maybe it's too early to be thinking about next Christmas, but for your next birthday, maybe you might think about it. And I'll just show you this one. So if I press my A button, it's on my A button, it is. If I press my A button, I program to do a little smiley face. Oh, keep it on the screen. If I press my B button, he'll sing a song. He's a lovely singer. And if I click both A and B at the same time, I programmed him to tell me who the best coding teacher of all time is. And we'll see. CIA or AN. I wonder what that spells. We'll never know. Guys, we're going to be using the microbit today. If you have a microbit, fantastic. We'll be able to program a game that you can play on your microbit later on, and it'll be brilliant. If you don't, you'll be able to do a simulation of microbit. It'll look cool. It'll just be on your screen. Just on microbits later on, just if anyone's curious, there's also loads of accessories you can add to them. One big thing we do is in our workshops is LED lights. So this is one. It lights up there. Christmas lights. We do loads of workshops of that. There's also cars. This is the Microbit car, Microbit mobile. It's pretty cool. We won't be working on it this week or anytime in the future really closely, but something we can keep an eye on maybe in the future. Right, let's get to it. Let's get our lesson set up. I will share my screen and we can get started. So our lesson today is to make the reaction timer. So this lesson, we are going to create a reaction timer project on the Microbit website. We will also be coding a welcome message, a countdown, a delay, and we'll also create variables such as timestamps and player reactions. It's like, if anyone's ever been in the arcade where you have to click a button as soon as something comes across. That's the idea for today. So let's get to it. Our first step, guys, just like with Scratch and just like with MakeCode Arcade, our first step is we have to open up the proper website. So the website we're going to today is called MakeCode Microbit. So it looks a lot like MakeCode Arcade. Just be careful you don't click into the wrong one. It's MakeCode Microbit. So if you want, no, actually, sorry, there's a little difference here. If you are on a computer, a laptop, you can look up the website just like we did last week with Scratch. Just open up another tab, just like we did last week. So up here, you click an extra plus and add your extra tab. If you are using a tablet, it'll be the same. There is an app on tablets that some people might be using. We would say for now, we would recommend just doing it on your browser the way we did last week, just because it means everyone's on the same page. It means we're all together. So for now, can everyone just make their way to the MakeCode website? I'll show you now. MakeCode Microbit pops up on my screen because I've been there before. And your home page will look something like this. So we see little pictures of microbits, just like mine, up the top of the screen. Make sure you have pictures of microbits on your screen. Otherwise, you might be on MakeCode Arcade, which will be the wrong website, but it'll be hard to follow along. So once you've got to the right website, guys, make sure you go back to the Coding Ireland and click your done step. Make sure you get your learning points. And keep me up to date so I can move on when everyone's ready. If anyone has any issues, remember from last week, if you want to just put a little thumbs up or thumbs down or type a little message into the chat. If you type it in there, I'll be able to help you as best I can. But you got to let me know. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well there, guys. One or two people still just to follow us over to the MakeCode website. Coder Rocket is on the ball. She's made it there. Well done, Mui. Well done, Jane, Coco. I think we're okay. I think we're all right. If anyone does have an issue, remember, I'm keeping an eye on that chat box. So pop it in there and let me know and I'll get to it as quick as possible. So once we've got to the website, let's have a look. So our first job is making the project. You'll see here there's loads of options on the screen. You can sign in. I wouldn't recommend signing in just yet. It might be something that you do after the lesson. The good thing about the Microbit website is it automatically saves your lessons. So you don't necessarily need an account straight away. As long as you're using the same computer or same tablet as last time, it'll remember what you've made. So your projects will save for a limited time. There's no big panic to save it. So we're going to click on New Project down here, the big plus button. And we're going to give our project name. I'm going to call my project Reaction Game because that is the name, or Reaction Timer, sorry. That is the name of our game today. And I'm going to create it. That'll bring us to our project screen, which looks very much like the Scratch. It looks very much like MakeCode Arcade. Just you can X out of this editor. It'll pop up and say, do you want to tour around? You're okay. You've got me. I'm your guide today. And you'll see we have loads of these categories in here, guys. We have basic, input, music, LED, radio, loops, logic, variables, maths, and extensions. Plenty to keep us busy. We will use what we need today, but this just goes to show how much is in the Microbit that you could be using. Let us check. Is everyone caught up with us so far? Business, are you okay? You gave me the red, but then you gave me the green. So I think you're okay, are you? Okay, business. If you gotta let me know what the issue is, I think you're back up to date. I think you're caught up. Oh, Andre, you're submitting already. You must be working fast. So, guys, we're going to do our first step today. I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of what this is. We have two blocks that have started off on the page. They're on start and forever. Those are like instructions saying when we turn the microbit on, what do we want to happen? And if we want something to happen always, we would put in forever. So we can actually, if you want to pick them up, you can just hold down and drag them wherever you want. If it's a tablet, you just hold your finger on them and pull them wherever you want. We're actually going to get rid of the forever. We don't need forever. We can pop him into the bin. If we drag it over the rest of the categories, it goes into the bin. So if you want to drop him into the bin, we'll just go with the on start for now. And our first instruction today is start by creating a welcome message. So this is going to be, as soon as you plug in your microbit, this message is going to pop up on the screen. So where we find this is basic, which is the blue at the very top with the blue basic category. We're going to click into it and we're going to go down to show string. I'm going to show you what this looks like on my screen. So it has hello already written there. If you want to change that, you can click on it and retype whatever you want. And over here, we see a simulation of what our microbit's going to do. So this is our microbit. This is an imaginary microbit in the computer. It does what we've programmed it to do. So it's great to be able to see what your microbit will do. This is really handy. And if you want to stop it, or if you want to restart it, you've got buttons underneath it here. So if I restart simulation, he's going to say hello. So there's your first step, guys. If you want to program a welcome message, mine says hello. Yours can say whatever you want. As long as it's a welcoming message. We want to be friendly to our players today. So I want you to write in your welcome message, and I want you to click complete on the next step. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to try and test you this week. Last week you were pretty good. But this week I've decided, because coding is all about problem solving, I'm going to give you some tricky riddles to solve. And I know some people out there are really good at riddles. So you've got your work cut out for you here. These are hard. I was scratching my head for a long time reading these. The first one is, if you've written your welcome message, I want you to tell me, what goes up but never comes back down? What comes up but never comes back down? And it's not a balloon that you let go from your hand outside the shopping center that drifted up into the air and never came back down. Stargirl, Coder Rocket, Moon Boy, you're all very quick. Very quick. You must have heard that one before. Mewy as well. Lads, you're embarrassing me here. I took about 5 minutes on that one. I thought you'd be a while working on this. Right, I'm gonna have to go to harder ones down next time. I'll give you one more before we move on. Now this one, come on, you'll never get it. What can you catch, but you cannot throw? What can you catch, but you can't throw? Now I'll just sit back. There's no way. Business. Oh, Stargirl, guess again. Oh, guess again, Coder Rock. Oh, catch air. I can see where you're coming from. I think there could be two answers to this. Now that I'm thinking about it, air has got me thinking about a different answer that could work. The answer I was thinking of was Business's answer, a cold. You catch a cold. But now that some other people have said it, you can't throw a cold, as far as I know. And now other people have said air, I'm thinking your breath could also be an answer. because you can catch your breath, but you can't throw your breath, as far as I know. Maybe you'll tell me differently. Guys, we're going to move on. I hope everyone's okay with the microbit instructions. I hope you're all getting a lovely welcoming message on your simulation of your microbit. If you want to give me, if you want to type in the chat whatever you've given your welcome message as, that might be fun. Might be interesting to see. If you kept it as hello, great. That works. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with hello. The next part we want to do is we want to create our countdown. So if you want to look at my screen, guys, I'm going to give you a bit of an idea because there's a few blocks to put in here. And I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so this looks like a huge, big block of information, guys. Don't worry. It's not as much as it looks. We will be able to do this together. So at the start, we see, I'll read the text. After the welcome message, we're going to create a countdown from 3 to 1 and then show a line on the screen. So essentially, we want it to say, get ready, and go 3, 2, 1, and then start. Coder Rocket, yours is sub pro. That's a lovely welcome. I wouldn't like to turn on your micro bit. So we want to add a countdown, guys. And I'm going to show you how. Watch my screen. What we want is this can all stay. We have on start and we have our message. Then we need show number. So we have show number here. It's in the blue again, so we can stay in the blue this time. Show number, and my countdown is going to start from 3. Your countdown can start from 10 if you want, but it just means every time your game starts, it's going to take a very long time. So you want to keep it interesting. So after that, I'm going to scroll down in the blue in the basic ones. Scroll down to the bottom. You can grab this gray scroller and go all the way down, and there's an option here, a block called pause. And there's an MS in the brackets. Do you think anyone could tell me what MS stands for? It's pretty technical. I'll tell you. It's microseconds. So, milliseconds, sorry, even. So if we pull out 100 milliseconds, what that means is we can actually click into it and change it. So we can be, there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second. So 100 milliseconds will be really, really quick. So I want to wait for about 1 second to give it a bit of time to sink in. So I'm going to change that to 1 second, and it pops up as 1,000 milliseconds. So when I've got that done, I need to basically repeat it again. After 3, I want it to show 2. And then I wanted to wait another second. So I'm going to go back into here, back into my basic, go into pause, change it to 1 second. And then repeat again, guys. So basically it's the same step 3 times. So the steps 3, 2, 1. And then I believe we put one more just in for an extra second. And then the last step, guys, is that we want to show LEDs. So this is in the basic again. In here, it looks really big. But what this means is the LED screen on the microbit is going to show whatever we do. And we can kind of program whatever we want. We can click around and make it light up in different ways. But for this, we want to just have a line across the middle. This is like the beginning of the game. So we want to set this up right from the beginning. You guys can flick back and forth from the Coding Ireland screen to this screen. I'm going to give you a bit of time to do this because there is a few blocks to move around, a bit of editing to do. Give me a completion when you finished it. And if you need any help, throw in a thumbs down and I'll get to you as quick as possible. A few people working on that. Milliseconds, business, well done. I'm going to click my done, get my... So don't worry if you take a few minutes doing this, guys. Well done, Coder Rocket. Well done, Stargirl. And guys, just when you've put in that bit of code, Just double check that your microbit simulation is showing what you told it to do, because this will show if there's any mistakes in your code or if there's any bugs that you need to fix. It should say, get ready, 3, 2, 1, and then the line across the screen. If it's not doing that, have a look at your code, see if it looks the exact same as my code, and change anything that needs changing. I really like the simulation because it does kind of give you, it shows immediately if you have any errors. So well done, everyone. Andre, you okay? I've got a good bit of coding to do today. We're on that's step 3. There's not a huge amount of code to add to this, guys. It is a quick enough project, but it is a really fun game, especially if you have the microbit. It's a game that you can bring around to your house and show off, and you can challenge your brother or sister, see who has the fastest reactions. Remember just, guys, to click on the complete step at the end of your lessons, or at the end of your step. Remember, Moon Boy, yours is looking good. Good stuff. I think that brings us time for another riddle. Seeing as you know a lot of them. This one's a great one, right? I think this one will stump you. I think you'll be gone. What word ends with E, begins with E, but only has one letter? Yeah, that's a hard one. What word starts and ends with E, but only has one letter? This is actually probably a bit out of date. It's not E, Stargirl, but I could see why you would think that. I could see how that looks like it. I'm going to give you a minute to try and mull it over. I can see people, it's not business. No, it's not E. E's not a word that I know of. No matter how many times you type it. I'll give you about 10 more seconds. It's not E, Jane Coco. It starts with E and it ends with E, but it only has one letter. No, Eve. It's not Eve. Coder Rocket. No, I finally got you. Except for Andre and G-Ball. You must have looked it up yourselves. Envelope. Because it starts with E, it ends with E, and it contains one letter. Because obviously you would put your letters inside your envelopes to send them. Andre, I think you definitely must have Googled. There's no way you would have figured that out. That took me, I'd say, since the end of last week to figure out. I think we're okay, caught up on that step, guys. I think I'm going to have to move on. Our next step is to add a random delay. So this is basically, this is a step. It's really important to the game. This is basically saying we're going to tell the microbit to wait a certain amount of time and then pop up with something. Because this is what we're reacting to. If it was 2 seconds every time, it would be too easy to predict. So we're going to have to add a random element to this. So let's have a look at our code. This code, don't worry about this. We've got all that done. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be afraid about any of this. All we need to do is add 2 steps. If you want to have a look at my screen, guys, we need to pause. We need to pick the random seconds. And we need to show a fully white screen or red screen on your microbit. So how this works, we're going to go into the microbit screen. I'm going to go into basic. And I'm going to go into show number. Oh, sorry, I'm not. I must look at my own code. I'm going to go into pause. Now, right now it's saying to pause for 100 milliseconds or 200, 500, 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. It doesn't have the option on our Coding Ireland page, purple option. What we're going to need to do is find it, guys. And that is going to be in our maths section. So it's all the way down the bottom. And you'll see a little picture of a calculator. It's purple. So when you click into that, you got loads of options. And what we're going to have is the pick random. So it's a little bit further down. So in the math section, in the purple section, there's one that says pick random, and it has 0 to 10. You grab that out, and what you can do is you can actually stick it on top of that 100 milliseconds. So we've kind of changed the code a bit there. Now, 0 to 10 is too long, especially in milliseconds. Actually, it's really short in milliseconds. So we're going to change it to 1,000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, to 5,000 milliseconds. And what this means is it's going to wait for either 1 second to 5 seconds. So anywhere between the 1 and 5 seconds, it's going to wait. And after that, we're going to go back to basic, put out LEDs, put it back in, and we're going to click on all the lights. Now watch what's going to happen to my microbit simulation. Takes me a while to paint all these. Right. I'll download it. Wait for my computer to catch up. So it gives me my hello message. I'm going to get my countdown. 3, 2, 1. And now 1 to 5 seconds. There's my fully bright screen. Okay. So it'll be different every time, which is what we want. Can you put in your timer, which is pause, put in the random block, and then fully bright block? Can you guys catch up with that? And we will fly it here from here, guys. We're nearly there. Make sure you click on done when you're finished. So just those 2 extra little steps, but there's a bit of work in them. There's a bit of searching around. We all look good. Yeah, it looks like people are getting there. While we're waiting, let's see if I can get you again. You've been good. You've been good today. You've been pretty good at the riddles. This is more of a joke than a riddle, but I'll see if you can get it. What is a robot's favorite type of music? So, seeing as we're working with microbits today, I thought I'd give you a robot question. What is a robot's favorite type of music? And it's not pop music. It's not K-pop music, which I know people are mad for. It's not rap music. What's a robot's favorite type of music? Radioactive music. Stargirl, I don't know what. I've never listened to radioactive music, but I actually really want to. That sounds cool. Oh, Andrew, you're on the right track. The robot's favorite type of music is heavy metal. Cody Rocket and Andre, well done. On the ball. I wonder, did you listen to much heavy metal yourselves? You must be big metal fans. A bit of Metallica. I'll give you another coding joke. What's a computer's favorite snack? This one I like too. I like this. My guilty pleasure are these computer jokes. What's a computer's favorite snack? It's not Doritos. Yeah, it's not Haribo's. It's not Pringles. Any guesses? Metal. Don't know if Moonboy was answering the last question or this question. It's not metal for this question. Oh, mouse. Coder Rocket. That's a good guess. But it's not what I was thinking of. I'm thinking of microchips. The computer's favorite snack is microchips. Do you get it? Like chips, microchips. It's terrible. You can tell your parents that one afterwards. They'll love it. Right, guys, I think we're all caught up there. If anyone is kind of waiting on a few, anyone has any needs, any help, just stick it in the chat and I'll get to it really quickly. So the next step is creating our variables, which is we need two variables to store the timestamps. So this is basically, we need the microbit to remember two things. We need to remember when the signal is shown to the player. So when we get this screen, we need to start recording time. And we need it to tell us how long of a gap was there from when that was shown to when the person clicks the button. Because the idea is the person, that big screen's going to flash. We want whoever's playing to click the button as soon as they see it. So the idea is like if they react really quickly, it'll be like, oh, you only took 0.5 seconds to click the button. Or if you're really slow, it'll be like, oh, you took 2 seconds. So we want the microbit to start remembering when they get shown the signal, and we need it to show when did they click the button. So what we're going to do is create variables, just like we did in Scratch last week, right? So back in the MakeCode screen, we have actually a red, this time, button down up just above the maths one called variables. We're going to click into it. And just like in Scratch, just like in MakeCode Arcade, we can make a variable. And we're going to call our variable start time and reaction time. So we need two. Start time. And that's START time. And I'm going to make a separate one called reaction, or reaction. I'll call it reaction time. So once you've made your two variables, they pop up down here. You can see the variables that you've made. I have reaction time and I have start time. So we need a bit of code then. We need to put in our code. Red code, set start time to running time. So that's all in the variable section, in the red section. Set, we put it onto our long line of code here. We set start time. You just, this little arrow on this one, we can click into it and we can change one to the other. We want it to be start time. Back into variables, guys, watch this. And reaction time. We need to grab reaction time, put it in there. Oh, I think we called it running time here. Oh no, sorry, I made a mistake there, guys. Sorry about that. We need to set start time to running time, which means like how long the game has been running. And we're going to find that in, let me check. I am just, sometimes they don't match up the colors exactly. I don't think we need to look at that, any functions. Let's double check. Running time MS. That's like a purple. Oh, sorry, guys. Do you know what? There it is. Sorry about that, guys. I got confused there for a second. If you want to watch my screen, because it actually is quite difficult to locate. So this is in red screen. Set reaction time. We put that in there. We changed the reaction time to start time. Now, this section is in input, okay? You click input, but it's not on this main screen. It's in the more section. So there's a little more pops up on the left-hand side. If you see my screen, it's really hard to find. So just bear with me. It's in that more section. And you can scroll down a little bit. You'll see running time MS. That's exactly what we need. So it's in, again, it's in input. And then there's a section called more. And it is running time. So that's what we need for this step. Sorry about that, guys. I got a little bit turned around there. And if you need help with that, I don't blame you. Stick something in the chat and I'll be with you as soon as possible. Remember to click done if you finish that step. And business giving a good bit of advice there. Search it. Oh yeah, up the top we have a search bar. Yeah, there you go. That's good advice, business. Yeah, I really like the Make Code Microbit website, but it is probably a little bit harder to find things than in Scratch because there's a bit more going on. There's a lot more options, so that sometimes you can get a bit lost. Especially in all these advanced sessions, which we won't be using today, but Coder Rocket, well done. Moon Boy, well done. Business, yeah, well done. Star Girl, good job. Everyone doing really well, guys. And we're nearly there. We've nearly got our project. Remember to title your variables. I wrote start time and reaction time. You can write start and reaction. That's fine too, as long as you remember. Well done, D-Ball. Business is requesting a riddle. I'll try find one. A lot of them are out of date at this stage in terms of telephones and things like that. I'll try and find a good one for you. Keep these on your toes. Here's a classic one. I think you'll get this one quickly. Business is ready to go, I think. What has hands and a face, but no arms and legs? What has hands and has a face, but has no arms and legs? Oh no! I thought I had to slow down there. Business is too quick. Coder Rocket wrote snake. I don't know. I've never seen a snake with hands. I think it'd be funny. The answer I was looking for was clock. Well done, Moon Boy. Well done, business. What can I do? Oh, this is a good one. What can you break even if you never pick it up or touch it? What can you break even if you don't pick it up and you don't touch it? No, not egg, business. Easily broken, but you'd have to touch it. Glass again, Coder Rocket. You'd need to touch it. Oh, Star Girl. That's a good answer. It's not the one I had. Heart. You could break your heart or break a heart without touching it. That's true. It's not the answer I was looking for. Wind, people. Again, not the answer I was looking for. Mewy, you got it. A promise. some good answers there, but the one I was looking for was promise. Well done, guys. You're keeping me on my toes. Okay, guys, this is actually our last step. Okay, the last step of the basic game, and then we can see about extensions and see about anything else we add to it. So the last thing we need to do is tell the microbit to say how long is between the flash of the screen and the person clicking the A. So what we need for this is only one small bit of code, is to say, store the running time from the reaction variable. A bit of maths here. Subtract the start time from the reaction time to get the amount of milliseconds that the player took to react, and show the result. That's really important. We wanted to tell us how you got on. So let's have a look. We can get this on our microbit and we can get our projects finished. We want to go to our microbit page. And this is actually a separate piece of code. So right now we have this big on start, really long piece of code. We're going to leave that. Leave that alone. We need to make it a separate piece. And where we get that is in input, okay? The purple category. Once you click into that, you get loads of options, but we're going to click on button A pressed. You do get options. You could change it to B or A and B, but for me, I'm just going to stick it to A. I think one button is enough. And we need, this is a little bit technical, guys. You might want to watch my screen for it. We're going to go to variables. We're going to go to set. We're going to add that in. And we're going to set reaction time to running time. Okay, so we know now where our running time is. It's in input and in the more section. We're going to bring that out. So just like we did last time, set reaction time to running time. And this is the big reveal. We need to say show number, which is basic. It's in the blue section. I like the way everything's nice and color coded here. It's very organized. We're going to say running number. We're going to need some maths. So we're going to go down to that purple section again that we had the block in before. We're going to take the one with the minus sign. Hope we all know our signs. And we need to go to our variables last time. So we need to say show number, reaction time, take away our start time. So basically saying take away the difference between the reaction time and start time. Now watch my screen. I'm going to try and do a reaction game. I get my hello message. This is my time to prepare. 3, 2, 1. I get my line, and I'll have to react really quickly. And 400 milliseconds. So 0.4 of a second. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to take done. I've finished that step. Can you guys finish that step? And if you want, you too can see if you can beat my 400 milliseconds. And I'd be really offended. I'll be really angry if you do. See how you get on. There's a little bit of thinking going on in this step, so don't take your time with it. There's no rush. And then we'll move on to maybe a little bit of a challenge. We'll move on to an extension. We'll see what else we can do. We can add to this project. Well done, business. You've got yours in. Well done, Mui. Also got yours done. Well done, Andre. Doing really well today. Business, one time. What do you mean one time? Hardly 100 milliseconds. That'd be very quick. I imagine there'll be some fast fingers out there. You guys playing your video games and playing your tablets. You'll be really quick to hit those buttons. I wonder how quick you can get. I can't get the number. Show reaction time. Okay, Coder Rocket. I'm going to get you to have a look at my screen for a second. All right. It's really important that you have all this lined up properly. It's also really important to make sure that the last step, step 5, is set start time to running time. And then I will ask you for 1 second, Coder Rocket, just go back to your code, just double check that everything lines up with what the instructions were. If not, I'm going to have a look at your actual project, which we can go through. But take 2 seconds there and just double check that all of the writing and all the variables are where they're supposed to be. If they're not, I can have a look at your project now in a second. But just double check that. Business won me one time. I believe it when I see it. Well done, Jane Coco. Well done, Moon Boy. We're getting there. A few people. Stargirl 9364. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's under a second. Remember, 1,000 is 1 second, so you've got fast reactions anyway. See if you can do better. There's nothing stopping you from trying again. It's your game. I should say, actually, if you want to have a look at my screen, how to reset it is click this button underneath, which is like, it looks like arrows kind of going in a circle. That restarts it. That says go back to the beginning, which is what we said, hello. So if you want to try it again, you click those arrows in a circle, refresh, or restart the simulator, and it'll pop up and tell you what's happening. Maybe give it another go. Let's give it another try. Oh, big delay there. 463. Okay, I'm happy enough for 463. I'll take that. Jane Coco 780. That's not bad. Coder Rocket. Everything's lined up. Okay, Coder Rocket. I'm going to have a look at your project. Watch my screen for a second. I'm going to get you to share your project in with the chat. Now, how you do this? In your microbit page, up the top, along the top where you see a house, you'll see like a little triangle, a question mark, and a gear. I want you to click on the triangle, just beside the house. You click that. It'll say give your project a title. You can just call it reaction timer, call it whatever you want. Say share project. What'll happen is you'll be able to copy this. That's your project link. If you copy that by clicking this button, you can then share it in the chat by going into the chat. If you can right-click your mouse or hold it down if you're using a tablet and click paste. Once you've pasted that in there, I'll be able to have a look at your project and we can see what's happening. No point in me sharing my project with you. You've already made it. Well, maybe someone will. Maybe someone will get something out of it. I'll send it in. Bees has just got 76. Just 76 or 760, I wonder. Stargirl, well done. Business, you've got yours. I can have a look at it now. What? 76 business. You are, I don't know, supersonic speed. You got like Spider-Man's reflexes. If you can react that quickly. And here's a look at the simulator. Coder Rocket, you're kind of split devices. That makes sense. Coder Rocket, if you want to click on my link in the chat, if you want to, I don't know what you're using for your Coding Ireland side of things, you could copy my one. You do that by holding down and dragging across the writing. If you want to right click then and copy, which I know is a little bit of work, right click the mouse and copy it. You'll be able to paste it into another thing. Jane Coco wants to show me a project of a moving rainbow. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at businesses project. 3, 2, 1. We'll see how quick we can go. Not 209. I'm proud of that. I'm not going to get better than that today. Business is 28. Business, you're too good at this. You need to go pro. Coder Rocket Jet. If you can try and get into mine, you can do the test. I understand when you're using two devices, it can be tricky to it because you've got to do different things. If you wanted to, you could share it and then like type it in. It'll take a little bit of time, unfortunately. How does a rainbow work, I wonder? Oh, it's on the LEDs. That's very cool. I wonder Who is that one? Jane Coco, did you have LED lights to put with that, or is it kind of a in your head, or is it like a simulation in case you do get LED lights? I wonder. While you get on to me there, guys, I'm going to show you the extension, or I'm going to give you a bit of a challenge. Because that right now your project's great, really cool. It's a great game as it is. You'll be able to go around and challenge everyone in your house now and see who has the fastest reactions. But we can, same as any game, you can always extend it. You can always make something a little bit different, make your project a little bit more unique than everyone else's. So your challenge is, now that you've built the basic timer, let's make it more exciting. Your challenge is to add a feature that displays a special message if the player's reaction time is less than 500 milliseconds. Now, that 500 is just an example. You can say if they get under 200. Or business, you're getting very low. You might say 100 seconds if you're very fast. So you can use your creativity to come up with whatever mess you want, whatever you'd say. Well done, you've got it under 500 milliseconds. How you do this, guys? If you want it, you can have a look at the hint. The hint will be an if statement. Okay, if statements will be in your logics. So in this kind of, I don't know, aqua colors, you can pull that out. It will be in your on button A pressed. It will go underneath here, and you'd say if, and then your math. If such and such is bigger than such and such. So if your reaction time is less than start time is less than 500, then show super fast. I wonder would anybody be able to do that? That's kind of tricky. Or it might be a certain emoji you want to show up. If you want to see a hint, click on that hint button. And if you want to submit a project, you can submit your project underneath that challenge. It doesn't have to have the challenge. You can if you want. In a minute, I'm going to show you how to download it to your microbit using a computer. And I'll talk about how to download it to a microbit using a tablet. So if you want to take 2 minutes, try and customize your timer. Try to give it an extra challenge. These are great for pushing yourselves, guys. You can use all the stuff we've used before. Last week, we were big on using if things. So if you want to use if here, here's the greater than symbol. So you can also change that to less than. It's in your logic for comparison. So if anyone's maybe played around with microbits before, you might be able to. But I suppose I'll go through this now. How do you download your code to a microbit? So I think a lot of people here have microbits. Maybe if you want to put a thumbs up in the chat if you have a microbit with you, just to be out of interest. And I'm going to show you how I connect my microbits to my computer. So what I need to do, guys, I might just go back to my Stargirl and Moonboy have one. I think Stargirl and Moonboy might have. I think you guys are working on tablets. So we'll talk about that in a second. And I think a few other people, business, I think maybe, I'm not 100% sure what devices you guys are using. I should have asked that. Business, yeah, I will play your games. I'm looking forward to playing it. You always come up with something cool. Guys, I'm going to show you. Just let that sink in. I'm going to show you how it looks when I connect my microbit to my computer, okay? This is what it looks like on a laptop. It'll look obviously different on a tablet. That's fine. Tune in now and we'll see how it looks. We'll see what happens. So what we're going to need to do, you'll need a microbit. If I unplug it, it goes dark. It's no power into it. And you'll need a USB, which will plug into the side of your laptop. It has lots of my laptop anyway, has loads of little little holes in the side where the USB fits. Yours probably has them. I know some newer models of laptops don't, and there is ways of using it with Bluetooth, but for now, we'll stick to the USB method. So what I do is I stick the USB into my microbit. So I'll try to get it on screen. It fits at the very top. And make sure you get it the right way around, which I never do the first time around. And I will screen share because I'll show you what happens on my screen. What happens is, am I up? I'll wait till that catches up with me. There we go, happened now. What happens is you might get a message on your screen saying microbit connected. Now, from here, super easy. All you do is go to your microbit page, click download. It's pumping out here because you can tell I have a microbit here. And click download. It might pop up a little message here saying, is this your microbit? I want you to click allow. So it'll say, can we connect to your microbit? I want you to click allow. Because I've connected this microbit before, it's just going straight to the download. Sometimes a little message pops up here. Just click on the microbit and say, yes, it's downloading all my game through the wire into my microbit. MIUI, well, nice one. Oh, Moonboy has a computer. Okay, Moonboy, if you have your computer, you might be able to use this method. And it takes a little bit of time. And now I message my microbit should be up to date. So if I click the reset button, this button on the back is like a reset button. It'll tell your microbit to go back to the start. Oh. Yeah, you'll get your game working on your microbit. And there you go, guys. That's it. If you're working on a tablet, you'll need to download the microbit app. The microbit app it's on the App Store. It's on the I forget what they call it on Android, the Play Store. Basically, what the app is just this exact website that we've been doing the whole time, but it's in an app. And it just makes it a little bit easier to pair with a microbit using Bluetooth. It'll give you instructions on how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. If you're only using one microbit and one tablet, you'll have no issue. It can be hard when you have a whole room full of microbits and a whole room full of tablets, but you guys should be fine. Just before we go, I want to have a look and see if anyone has finished the project and wants me to have a look. I know Business was saying he has a very impressive project he wanted me to have a look at. So I'll try and get into that before we finish up. And next week, guys, another lesson called Maze Madness. I hope you're ready for that. Guys, just if you wanted to, remember we do have the tests at the end of the lessons. If you want to just take the tests, it's always good to show if you've been listening over the last while and see if you remember all the steps. And if you want to give this lesson a rating, if you want to give it a difficulty rating, too much time, not enough time, you can mark the whole lesson complete and get yourself a few more XP and level yourselves up as quick as possible. This is a good bit of code going on there. Looking forward to seeing it. Okay, right. Oh, a bit of a sway. All right. Oh, I don't know if it's quite our game business, but it's cool. I like it. Oh, it's kind of a tilt thing, is it? It moves around with my tilt. It's very cool. Not quite the reaction game business. I hope you got our reaction game done as well as that. But I love people playing around with things, because by playing around with things, that's how you get, that's how you get good, and that's how you find cool stuff. Stargirl XP just kind of moves you up. You'll get a different rank and it'll show all your experience. And by doing these lessons, by clicking done, it'll show that you've progressed so much further. So when someone else joins, it'll show that you're at a higher rank than they are. And you've earned loads of points over the last few weeks. You've been doing really well, guys. Really impressed. We have business. A is up, B is down, and you turn with tilt. I like the idea of business. That's a really cool idea for a game. I wonder, like, I'd say you would definitely be able to create a cool game from it. And remember, guys, if you wanted to touch the you touch the dot to get a point. Oh, it's a bit like Snake. I like that idea. Coder Rocket, well done, completed the quiz. If you want to submit your projects, guys, if you can, we'd love to see them. Remember to submit the projects down here underneath that challenge. You got to give it a title. You got to tell us a little bit about it, and you got to post in the link. Now, we do have little helpful tabs here that show you how to share projects if you don't remember how. And again, if you want to go on some MakeCode, Microbit, if you want to make an account, you're more than welcome to. It just means you can save this project long term. It means you can save it on a laptop and open it from a different laptop. But MakeCode, Microbit is pretty good. It means you can go away, you can close down your browser, and you can reopen it. And it more often than not, it is still there. It depends on your cookie settings, but that's a whole kettle of fish I won't get into. Guys, great job this week. Really, really impressed with you guys. Not just your coding, but also your riddle solving skills. I must prepare some hard questions next week. I'm not going too easy on you guys. You guys need to be pushed a little harder. I think it's the only way to first. Well done, Bees. It's 5 out of 5 in the test. Guys, I really enjoyed this week. Looking forward to seeing you all next week for Maze Madness and all the fun that brings. Remember, during the week, you can do your self-led lessons using the Code in Ireland platform. And we will see you all next week.